It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. And we have wonderful guests. And I have a wonderful guest today, Jenny Lee. But before I bring her on, I'm going to have you watch a short video, 2 minutes, I believe it is, on the Freedom Pain Patch, which is totally ingredient-free, non-electrical, and non-invasive, and clinically tested, and it's drug-free. So let me share this with you. Hang on 1 minute.
Today, we're going to talk about our Freedom Patch. This is the world's first and only drug-free, non-invasive, and non-electrical pain patch. To understand how the Freedom Patch works and delivers pain relief, we need to understand a little bit about the neuromatrix of pain and how it works. Every physical, emotional, and psychological function has a neural code that controls and regulates it. The various brain regions and signals that help manage pain are called the neuromatrix of pain. Sometimes these signals get stuck, damaged, or corrupted. This leads to poor pain management. Leading studies show that a well-functioning neuromatrix with synchronized signals can lead to reduced pain. So, how do we help the neuromatrix of pain work better? Easy. Just peel and apply the Freedom Patch to where we are feeling the pain. That could be our shoulder, neck, arm, leg, knee, back, or even hip. The Freedom Super Patch has this intricate and special pattern of ridges. It's like a QR code. We already know that our skin absorbs and transmits information from many different types of stimulation, including light, heat, and cold. With the Freedom Super Patch, the skin uses our sense of touch to absorb and transmit the information. When these ridges in the pattern come in contact with our skin, they stimulate skin sensors that generate and send a very complex signal to our brain that helps balance the neuromatrix of pain. A recent study shows the Freedom Patch helped significantly reduce pain for people within minutes. In fact, the study shows that the Freedom Patch helps with pain from arthritis, myofascial, musculoskeletal, and neuropathy. The Freedom Super Patch is a scientific breakthrough that is registered and comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Just imagine less pain without drugs or related risks. The Freedom Patch is an amazing solution for immediate drug-free pain relief.
There you go. Oops.
Prior to COVID.
Okay. Let me get back here and holy smokes, where are we here? Okay. Stop sharing. And now, thank you for listening to that. It's absolutely an amazing new technology, which is the biggest breakthrough in health and wellness in over 50 years. So, without further ado, let me bring Jenny Lee on. Hello, Jenny.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
Good. Really good. It's just, I've been telling people, watching the Schumann resonance and how things are going up and down, and just need to ride out that energy that's coming in left and right. And everybody's like either down on the ground one day or they're up really high. So it's just like it's never consistent no more. It's going back and forth. So yeah, crazy.
Wow. And it's affecting people's emotions, right?
Yes, it is. It is. It's getting nuts.
Do people get triggered more easily, it seems?
I think so, because I think as you're taking in energy, we tend to think it's us sometimes, and sometimes it's just an energy going through us, and we need to just let it ride through us instead of trying to grab onto it and just let it sit on your chest. That's the whole problem. I'm having a lot of that where people are just feeling like they're getting attacked. And I said, you got like these democratic cities where there's just this parasitic energy is just waiting for anything dark to find something to use. And I mean, just like a fog over it. And when you're in any emotion state or anything like that, it's starving for that energy. And I'm seeing people get triggered, and I'm like, it's not you, it's the energy trying to trigger you to consume your energy, because there's nothing left. There's not strong energy on the negative anymore. It's just they're trying to take what they can. Parasitic, intense energy that's just consuming you. And that's, you see these mood swings. And another thing that you're seeing is the normies. It's such a zombie state. They're in it more in depth, and you can't even have a conversation with them because it's getting worse and worse to get a word out of them or to focus on something. It's setting a divide. I'm seeing the divide between people saying, I can't handle living with a person, I can't handle being with a person anymore. The divide of the normies and the awakened it's coming. It's presenting. I'm seeing it everywhere.
And that's hard for people to deal with, because it could be your partner.
Right. And some of us just move out of the house and say, we're done. Yeah, like me. So the thing is we got to know how to handle it. We got to know how to identify it, and know that it's trying to consume and use and pull at you. And that's the whole thing. We get into the left brain emotion side, and then we get emotional about it, and then we take it on. And we don't need to do that at all. We need to let it go. Mm-hmm. Period. So yeah,
that just really makes sense. Here it says, somebody says, I have no one here that's awake. How much longer until they wake? God. It's not easy. It's not easy. You're not alone.
It's like walking through zombies, and you're trying to just see the light through them, but you're like, I can't conversate with anybody. I can't do anything to get them to have a conversation, because it's like, that's not the program. That's not the program. That's not the program. They're just like, no, I don't want to hear it. And that's why I say, when this all goes down, they're going to go into their houses. They're going to tell you not to bring up the subject. Don't talk about anything. And so they can live in a little more denial. That's what they're going to do.
Wow. Yeah, that's what it boils down to, isn't it? It's denial.
Denial, big time. Completely denial.
Lauren had this comment to allow it to balance and harmonize.
Right.
And that may take a little time.
Well,
okay.
And that's why I told people when I teach them on classes and meditation that you need to have a spot in your house that's kind of like your meditation zone, your clear zone of light, and because you can go into that when this happens, and you're not feeling their energy and watching them lose their minds and seeing them loaded up on the white bus, and you're just like, I'm in my zone. I'm walking through the fire. I'm good. I knew this was coming. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about it,
Yeah.
Walking through the fire, and it's got to burn down. It's got to burn down. We're okay, but everybody else is going to You're gonna lose it.
And to try not to let them get you going either. That's the other thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. You move it along. And that's the minute you take it in and it sits on you, on your shoulder and on your neck on a dead weight, and then you're just carrying it in the chest. And that's the thing. You've got to understand that you're a filter of information. You got to release it. So don't attach to it. That's the whole thing about it.
Wow. So I got a question here. Ask Jenny about if giants are about to come out of hiding, please.
Okay, so I believe it's in an activation mode. I believe it's not just one place. I think there will be, like I said, that you'll see openings in the ground that are, you're kind of looking down and going, what in the heck made that big hole? Or it looks like, a rhinoceros just came out of the ground. And we're talking mountainsides, desert sides, it's all surfacing. So that's part of the process that has to surface. So you're going to see a lot more giant post stuff, but I'm waiting for the whole process of like it happening everywhere, that they can't make it up. They don't know how to explain this, because I believe there's some that have been on the surface for a while. They're just very good and smart to avoid humans. And I believe a lot of them are on islands and different areas that you are hidden by trees and all that stuff. So now we're coming to another level on this. So the ones that are deep in the ground are coming to the surface. And then I did the drawing on that device that they were carrying. Let me see if I can find it.
That's a good one, Lauren. No more swimming in the Nile of denial.
All right.
I like that.
And it is true. It's just the fact that they want to swim. I brought this subject. This is what was underneath the Catholic, the Vatican, a room like this. This is something that's under, as we're talking about underground.
Hold it up a little bit higher. Hold it up a little higher.
So it's a cup.
There, now I see Norbert.
And it has teeth right here, and it has it upside down, and it's one of those everybody has to drink from it. So I did this one 2 years ago. So this is a picture of where I saw in Utah that these giants would come out of, and Antarctica. They look like that, which is really weird of how they.
So they'd have to be in the mountains, the Rocky Mountains.
Exactly, and that's one of them. Let me.
Wow.
I'm just trying to find that other one. And when I got that with the giants, it wasn't something I wanted to get. They were just saying that they're moving in like 5 to 6 groups together to move into these areas. And that's the thing. So you're kind of, so here's a map I did of them moving through Lebanon and then going through Israel and Jordan and all that. So they're down there, they're active, they're going to have to surface. And then this is them. Let me see if you can kind of get that. This is them in a circle motion, holding that device in the center, but they didn't want anybody or anything to get a hold of it. So this is like a cavern. Wow. And this is the energy that goes up, and here they are around it.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this giant thing has been, I think I talked about it 3 years ago, and now, it's kind of surfacing more on the scale of it. So now everybody's paying attention to it. So yeah, I mean, that's, so the thing is, everything has to come to the surface, but another thing is the water in those areas too. I'm looking for a certain one. I can't find it right now. But the water, and I said red, that, and they said that it's going to come to the surface and it's going to be, it's not, everybody thinks with the water that I see is like this blood, and it's like, it's not. But it feels like these pools or paths of this water have been here before, like a plate has changed, like it reminds me of Indiana Jones when I'm looking at this stuff, because it's just been there, it's designed there to be that way. So they keep telling me, look for the water to arise, look at the color of the water, look for it.
That's why Trump kept saying, watch the water.
Right.
So now we're hearing it from you too.
Well, I've been saying it for a while. I mean, the water.
Yeah.
And so that's part of the whole process that has to surface. But when we talk about the Holy Land, the thing is too, for that to be seen underneath, I believe, like I showed you that map before, the water has to saturate around that city, and then it'll show its true form. So yeah.
Oh wow. Someone says they're in Utah. Are they nice? Referring to the giants.
So I'm not feeling that. This is where I think people get confused on some of these giants, especially the ones in Antarctica, and I see some of them that were very intelligent beings. So it'd be really nice for some of these to surface, and then we would have an interaction. And you've seen on TikTok where humans were interacting with them. They have pictures of them.
Yeah, Tartaria.
Yes, and I think it's great to go back to that. So I would tell people, don't get into the mindset that these are wild creatures and that they're going to act that way. It's just something that's just the same thing as the Yetis. You guys think that people just think they're wild. It's like, look in the mirror. Those are the ones who are acting like they're hunting down things. I mean, I'm just telling you that there's, just like humans, there's certain humans that are very calm and cool and collected, and there's the same thing with giants. You got the knowledgeable ones. So I think it's all going to surface. But I don't want people, when you start to see like different alien species and different species all around, you go into that old programming. That's bad alien, bad Yeti, just kind of like sit back and go, no, I'm going to accept it for what it is, and then not jump to conclusions.
A lot of people that are in the religious field say that all aliens are demons. Have you heard that?
Of course, because they don't have the knowledge of knowing. They weren't taught to have knowledge of knowing, or even trying to look at them in the category or look at them for their soul. Bad demon, bad alien. It's the same thing. It's so literally ignorant to think that way.
That's like telling it like it is. Okay.
It's so true.
How many of us are literal animal head hybrids or naturally designed humanoid, as the hieroglyphics show in Egypt?
Can you repeat that again?
Okay. How many of us are literal animal head hybrids or naturally designed humanoid, as the hieroglyphics show in Egypt?
I saw, some of them are programs, what I call them, in hieroglyphic, part of that, I'd say about 15%.
Okay, wow.
Because you sense that, because when you're around these people, and you even got family members that you like, I just can't pick up a soul. I can't pick up a empathy, or, what I'm saying, and they just have an agenda, and then that's the agenda, and a lot of it is like, enrich in money, and that's the focus, and I'll take anybody down in that situation. The thing you really want to look at things is if you feel like they can't empathize, they can't, feel someone's emotion, they can't connect with their suffering. That tells you a lot of what's going on with them. So,
and our lack of compassion is basically what you're talking about.
Yes.
And if they're not compassionate, that kind of tells you a lot, like you said.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do they still have a soul? Possibly
No.
not. No. If
I'm
they
not thinking
did,
of-
they would have those. They would have those
Yeah,
qualities.
they would have empathy. They would have sympathy. They would think of others in a different way, and they're not. It's a one process. And that's the same thing when you're dealing with these children. They can't comprehend them harming them, but you're a
You're not
person
them.
with compassion for something. You are taking what you feel, thinking that they have the same type of feelings. They don't. It's about annihilation or food to them.
Right.
And that's hard.
And you
to get.
can't love and light them away either, can you?
No, you cannot. Yeah. So it is.
That.
It's crazy how it's changing that way. And I can't wait till religion's done. And
Oh my God, yes.
Unite as just a frequency of light, and unite in the light as one, and not no man telling you how you need to feel about Creator, and just having that connection as one. So yeah.
Okay, let's see if we have anything else here. Yeah, they know they're done.
Yeah.
That's why they're acting up so much.
Right. They are.
Let me see. Oh, this is interesting. Mr. BB333, I've seen his stuff before, just put out a pond in Maui that turned pink. Do you know anything about that?
Well, because when things are changing on this earth, like I said, these how our world's changing into these plates, and how the water changes, and how things are shifting up, that was from the past. And that's what I'm saying. And I also said you're gonna see islands that are there, and now they're not there. It's just like, I'm telling you, it's like a Rubik's Cube, and then all this energy. But I also feel a lot of things are changing from Antarctica. And that stuff is...
There's popped up somewhere. I just read it. I think it was off of Japan, somewhere near Japan. An island just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, and Sarah told me that it's just it's gonna surface. And that's the thing. It's just like we're again told that nothing like that could happen. This world doesn't work that way. But you're gonna start to witness it, and you're gonna start to see it. So, yeah, I'd be keeping an eye on the islands, and I'd be keeping. And I'm talking, they're like showing me a big one. Like, where did that come from? So
maybe off of the coast. Is it off the coast of the Atlantic coast, sort of?
Well, I
catch where it was.
I haven't looked where it was. I just got the vision of what I got for spirit. But they're just saying how it's going to resurface. Some will disappear, just like plates go down and up. And so... Which I'm thinking is like, if something is resurfacing, is it going to come resurface as it was when it went down, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and you're going to see it all surface and dry up, and all this artifacts and all this stuff is going to show up. That's what's strange. It's like, because no one has moved it. So it'd be very interesting to see what they're getting. But you're already seeing a lot of artifacts appearing in droves now, because it's not suppressed now, and our true history is being seen at the top now.
Yeah, and it's not exactly what they told us either, is it?
Right, exactly. Reprogram, like literally sit back and go, all of it is a lie. Now I need to re-establish myself and read it, look at it, study it, all of it. That's the whole thing about it.
Okay, let me see what this one says here. Could it be that truthers be introduced to new Earth features, tech, RV before EBS, while sleepers will go through the fall of the Matrix?
True. Even today, when I was sitting in my office today, I was getting a lot of different energy frequency coming in, a lot of different sounds. And I'm like, okay. And then when that happens, I'm like trying to tune in and listen. But the thing that was different, I got this rhythm that was rapid, and it was going around. You could tell it was going around. I'm like, and I went outside, I went everywhere. I'm like, this is like inner sound, inner frequency, inner rhythm. So I was paying attention to that. So I think they're going to be hearing more, and it's in a frequency, but then you hear it in a rhythm, in a whole circular motion. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, I wonder if that has anything to do with the possibility of breaking through or breaking down the frequency fence that we've had from the matrix
Right.
that keeps us down.
Yeah, because when that comes down, and like I said, that cream energy that hits this earth, the negative, they can barely stand in it. They can barely exist in it. And then we're the ones that are awake, and part of it, it's like I said, you just suck it up, and you're just like, oh, let me take this on. Let me ride it out. Feel the energy. Let me sit in
feels good.
area in my house and my meditation area and just write it out, and you're going to enjoy it in a different way than they will. And that's the same thing as the vision of how they're showing me. It's like, this is the view that the 3D have compared to the ones that are awake. And they're like, it's like the awakened will see things in layers and see far in layers in different dimensions. And the 3Ds are just standing there going, what are you looking at? I can't see that. And it's because they didn't do the work, they didn't apply themselves, and they can't see it because it has to do with knowledge of trust and penetrating through a view and using your pineal gland and feeling the energy and putting trust in it. That's what I teach in class too.
Trust in it. Yeah, that's a big part right there. Trust.
So they're going to be like, I can't see it. I can't see it. And you're like, it's right there, but I can't see it. So that's what they're showing me.
Oh, okay. So we can anticipate that.
Right.
Iceland had over 100 earthquakes reportedly. Wow. That's a lot for that little
area. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would definitely go back with the shifting of the ground. And like I said, the plates, and we're going back to original point. And I mean, the first person that gets to that level where they're saying this island showed up and this showed up, I mean, you're going to see people just like looking for artifacts on those things going, now when it went down, how old was that? And what could we find on that plate? You know, they think of it as an island, but I think it was a plate that moved and surfaced up. Because I did a drawing of Antarctica. You have the Antarctica, and then you have those tunnels that go down, and then you have it shows the lava, and it shows the ice, and then it shows the inner earth, and then so all these plates are changing how they exist. So those inner earth beings are going to surface to the top too. How is that going to look? Is it going to look like Atlantis? Is this going to turn and shift in like a key? Are these inner earth cities? Are they going to surface to the top, and all of a sudden you're just seeing a whole city that's on the ocean? So I mean, it's the normies, I'm telling you, are going to freaking have a collapse. Yeah, we're going to lose it. I'm telling you. And we're all going to be sitting there going, bring it more. Bring it on. We want to see more.
Yeah, really. Okay. Somebody just made a comment, Kevin, saying big pharma, big religion, big government, big banks, quadrature of evil. Yes, indeed.
Right.
It most certainly is. They're all going down.
Yes, they are. And it could be in such a big bonfire too. Whether they blow their own facilities up or someone else does it, but yeah.
Oh, that's a good comment here. Lauren, faith unites us. All loves, not religion.
Right.
No, religion divides us. That's what that does.
Oh yeah. That's what it's programmed to do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm really proud of the people that are awake. I'm proud of the path they've took. I'm proud of the the guts they've had to stand in their truth. I'm proud of them standing in the light. I'm proud of them reaching to their strength, and they're going to know how valuable that was at the end of all this. They're going to be so glad.
Training, right? Training.
Right. And they should be proud of themselves. They should go, wow, I did it. I listened to my instinct. I paid attention to what was going on. And, you know, it's about being correct. But at that time when everything is evolving, you're okay with seeing all this. Your conscience is okay with accepting all the change that is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people don't like change, but change. Somebody's asking, what will happen to the non-souls, the NPCs just disappear?
Well,
depends what kind
I
of
believe some of them will fall on just in front of you, just dismantle. And I just think they're technology thing that's got control of them, and then it just goes kapoosh. Because I think
and they just collapse.
Yes, and then you have the other normies. You're going to pick them up and go, "Hey, you gotta help them." I'm like, "Well, there's nothing you can do. That's what those big shovels are for." So I think they're just going to start being very discreet about just picking them up, loading them up, picking them up, and loading them up. You know, and that's what I think. And then that's a rude awakening for people to go, "Gosh, I had no clue."
The people that don't even know what an NPC is, or all the clones and non-persons out there, soulless beings or androids, whatever they happen to be, the people that aren't aware of that at all are really, that's going to freak them out when they just fall over and die. And
it is, and
whatever.
it's the thing is, the awakened ones are going to be like, okay. And then they'll just walk by and they'll just be waiting for all of it. I'm literally telling you, there are going to be some people, and I'm telling you, they're going to be videotaping this and watching it because they're like, no. We're going to sit back and watch this happen, and they're going to videotape it. And they ain't going to wink. This is talk about the awakened ones. They have been waiting and waiting. They are going to sit there in their lawn chair and go, guess what? I'm waiting. I'm not moving. I want to watch it all fall. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Let's see this comment here. Escape mental prison. Okay. Yeah, my brother struggles with this. The other night he brought home groceries and just left the bag on the floor, like right in the way of where you would walk. Like, bro, are you okay?
Right. Yeah, it's just their behavior is weird, and
it's extra weird if they took the cookie, so to speak.
Right. And it's like anything else, they want to mislead the direction and everything. And like I said, and I think I told you that I think the new facilities that help our repair everything in our physical body, that all that information will be at the banks when we go to the distributing centers and have that information there, because the bank is the first one that's part of the quantum system with everything, and it's going to have all the information that you need for that. I also believe, like I said, the military is in charge of those devices and will be for a while. There might be some people that really know about how it works and everything, but the military is the ones in charge. Not the drunk UFO community, and I'm talking about, yeah, we know which one. And I don't know if you know this. My friend James Rink got kicked out of that conference in Florida because he was taking pictures.
Really?
Yes.
He's my friend too.
Yeah, he got kicked out.
They kicked him out
because Danny wanted to control who he interviewed and did all this, and I'm like, I thought this was free will. I thought you could interview anybody you want. And now you want to change the narrative. And I heard that Elena Denon is living with Danny Henderson in Florida now. So that's going to end up being a cat fight. So anyway,
Probably.
I'm going to be a cat fight when that happens. So anyway, but he's telling me, it's just, just because James is pretty intelligent. And when he puts stuff together, he does his documentation and all that stuff. And I think that seems intimidating to her, but it was just.
He did a great series on the Gesara. And he has Super Soldier Talk video channel where he picks whoever he wants to interview. So somebody dictating to him who.
Right. And that was the thing, is she was upset because, and he had a picture he showed me of, I don't know, stupid security that they have. It's just all show. And he was telling me that he had a film taking picture and there was all this other people taking pictures. So she's just, going after one person just because he's got more knowledge than her and wants to control the narrative, which, Oprah's her friend. So,
that's
much to say about that. Right?
Oh, wow.
So,
okay. Somebody's asking, is it a good time to buy a house? Real estate.
I would wait till the first part of January. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Okay, let's see what this one says. Who else saw the Biden impeachment congressional hearing? It really is manifesting right now. Wow. I didn't see that. Did you see any of that, Jenny?
If what?
The Biden impeachment
Congress hearing. The only thing to me about that whole situation is codes and clues. I don't believe anything is what it is now. It's all just releasing codes and clues of what's going on. And so when you try to figure out what they're doing, you're going to get more confused unless you do that Dramonte stuff that I think that is in there. So you'd be having better luck of figuring that out than you would thinking what's going on. I still think Jim Carrey's going to come out, pull the mask off, and go, "Hey, I played Joe Biden for a long time," and played it good.
Remember that time when he was tripping up the stairs?
I know. I'm saying that is such a good actor, isn't it? No one could do that like Jim Carrey.
Really?
I'm telling you.
Anyway. Okay, there are a lot of people seeing several suns. Can you
inner Earth,
respond
inner
to that?
Earth, outer Earth, and that's what I feel. There's several systems that I feel that they're, we're dealing with. I'm a flat Earth person, and I feel that we're in a firmament, and I feel that there's an inner sun, and then sometimes I feel like they're right by each other too. It depends on where it is actually at in the time of the day. So yes, I believe there's more than one.
I've seen it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Here, more than one.
So it'll be interesting. I saw one that was on a TikTok where they were above the sun and like, why are we above it? Isn't it supposed to be way out in space? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and there was one time when I saw where the clouds were going, like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Okay, somebody is, let's see. I'm trying to see if we got any other. Lenore is very thankful for you.
Who?
See. Lenore.
Okay.
She goes, Lenore C. I'm thankful for you, Jenny, for guiding me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm humble to be of service.
I am a voracious reader on anything metaphysical and spiritual. My book collection is getting ridiculous. Okay. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I seem to get the books and then they're sold out. It's funny how Spirit goes, get that book, and then it's like, oh, well, there's no more. I can't find it anymore. It's funny how that works that way.
What is that?
I'm saying Alex Collier is saying there's only one timeline. No, there's multiple timelines.
There still is. What they're talking about, this bifurcation where we're splitting, where we're seeing, how do you explain that?
Two different dimensions. Yeah, two different. If you look at one view, you're going to see a different view, and if you look at the other view, you're going to see a different view. That's what I'm saying. When Spirit shows me how this energy changes, the awakened people can see through all those veils and those dimensions, and the ones that are not can't see it. And so if you're completely consumed with alcohol and you're a normie and you're not going to see it, just telling you.
Okay.
All
right. Well, thank you, Escape Mental Prison, for your comment. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. So let's go on to the next one. The most common 5 words coming up. We tried to tell you. No, that's true. Like family members, frequently, many people have tried. Okay.
Right. And I think when you saw the last week when they had some issues with the banking system, I think that was a test to see if they are going to attempt something, if they're going to try to fail something, if they're going to try to do a grab of people's money. I just think that was a test.
Somebody I bought hazmat suits for the zombie NPC cleanup aisle in 10. That's funny, Lenore. Now that's funny.
All you have to do is put, to get the zombies controlled, all you do is put the show The Voice. Because I swear, everybody I talk to, their husband's like,
oh my God.
I watched The Voice. What are you doing watching The Voice? And I'm like, oh my God, just put it right there in front of them and it just programs them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The shows that they'll still sit there and watch.
Yeah. As they're being mind controlled.
Yeah.
Programmed. Yeah, but just so okay, good.
Right.
Let's see, what's this one? Hey, how do I know if I may be an NPC? I think you would know. You wouldn't care about anybody. You wouldn't have any heartfelt feelings. Okay, Kevin has a comment that he believes good militaries worldwide are in control and that 100% of what's being shown on TV is kabuki theater.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is, if you've been into the arts and how they do phases of the show, what act are we at right now? It's,
it's supposed to be real close to the end.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking something's going to happen. Yeah. Maybe.
I want Jim Carrey to just to rip off the mask. And then at the, Roadrunner and just do the thing at the end where he puts his head through the thing, Roadrunner did in the end of the show. If they can do that,
Oh, this was the one you were referring to earlier about Alex Collier saying there's only one timeline at this time. And you're saying that's not true.
Because I've seen what they're saying, and it has to do with your perception of view. And you have to have a perception of view to see through those realms and some of those higher dimensions, see what they're doing. And so they've told me we can present a dimension in front of you, and people don't understand how they look. They still think they're in the type of a physical thing, and you have to adjust your eyes to see that perception. So that's the whole process, is the normies are not looking for that. They're not trying to penetrate through that. And you got the ones that are awakened can see through that and look at the veil very, very precise, and look at the perception changing, look at the rhythm changing, look at the frequency changing. So that's the whole thing. I mean,
well, they've been studying the Blue Brain Project. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but they've done a lot of brain work, so to speak. And they say that our brain is actually 11 dimensional. I mean,
yeah,
that's big.
Well, and that's what I say when I go up and I see all this stuff. I don't see things in a human form. I don't see them as a human form. I see them in a light drifting energy and frequency, and their rays are pretty, out here, 4 or 5 layers of things, and some of it's hard to get through. And it's just it's really funny how people think, well, because they're human, that is the main perception everybody needs to see, and it has to do with the limited veil of understanding. If you're going to accept something at its true form, your mind will adjust to accepting it. Okay, so we'll use this as an example. So you guys are gonna laugh at this. So let's use the UFO community that takes pages off Google and makes it a hot alien. And it looks like a human form and has blonde hair and great eyes.
And strikingly handsome or good looking.
So, but what does that appeal to? That appeals to the human eye. It appeals to the human concept of what's attractive and what you'll trust. So, if somebody looked at that as its true source, its true energy, and saw it, it looked different. Maybe it was blue, maybe it was green. The tones of everything was changed. At first, your mindset has to get around the fact that it looks different, feels different, but the whole thing is about going in and expressing and feeling what it's attached to, feeling the true energy of what it is, and not assuming that everything has to look like a human. That's what we have to get over. You have to sit in a conscience of saying, I'm going to accept whatever form that spirit shows me, its true form. And you need to ask that when you're doing channeling, information, downloading, you're like, I need to see you as your true form. And that's where, here you go with these, when people have dreams, okay, and they see a white Jesus, and then they, in the original form of the original Jesus is not white. And it's because that's their veil of understanding, and it's going to present what they think that you will accept. And then you notice that those veils of understanding, as it enriches, it changes, and you start to get used to seeing the beings as their original form, which are light frequency energy, and moves like, everything moves in a consistent pattern of things. So y'all gonna be upset when they find out there's no white Jesus. Just saying.
Okay.
How do you detoxify the pineal gland? Sun gazing. And I teach my students to do this with this because it works, and you concentrate in the middle, and that works too. So it has to do with focusing right here. So I teach
looking at the light of a candle,
and then going in blindfolded and opening that vision a different way. So that's what I
interesting.
talk about.
Do you see a big event in November, Jenny?
I haven't asked that question with them. What I see is a big energy changing, a whole metaphor of energy going around our world, like this, and seeing that much energy around our world, and then a center piece of our world opening. And
hold it up a little higher. There you go.
Okay, the center earth, and then you see all the pyramids in an activation mode, and the ley lines. You're already feeling like the ley lines are like you're going by and you're getting shocked by it. That's what you're feeling lately. So I feel this activation mode that's going to take it to a whole new level of perception, and you're going to feel it like. And that's what they're saying, how you shouldn't be wearing rubber shoes, that you should be grounded to the earth, because that's to keep you from connecting with the earth and recharging you. So, we can't really walk around in the winter in the snow on that.
Yeah, in some places like here in Arizona, there's not too many places where you can walk barefoot without stepping on goat heads. sticky rocks.
To get
and
back
so
to the
on.
question, what I see is especially energy, perception changing. Like I said, those veils of people questioning themselves. Am I seeing this? Is this outer atmosphere changing? Am I seeing something different? Does it look like more of a reflection of several mirrors? If you're tapping into the higher dimensions, that kind of just comes in for a second, and it's like your eyesight going in and out. So your perception is changing, your acceptance is changing, and you're really breaking down and understanding that you're in that matrix and you're seeing that fall. And then it's like writing out the good energy. Once you write it out and you feel it flow through you, you're just going to keep flowing. And then you got the normies that resist that energy, resist that positive energy, resist what it is, instead of that. And they're going to go into the me and the I and myself, which isn't going to do them any good, because everything with the energy is a collective of energy working as one together in a whole rhythm. So everybody that goes up to that higher vibration, the higher conscience, as you're doing that, that's accumulating a frequency on earth that is of the light, and that's going to form higher. So the whole thing that I talked about, that the Holy Land was this last battle, but this battle's been going on forever between the dark and the light, archangels and light angels. And it's just going to end in that way if you stay in the perception of paying attention above the Holy Land and on the side, and pay attention when trucks are moving out. I believe they're taking stuff out of there. I believe they're moving stuff out of that area that hasn't been lifted. I think there's some stuff they can't even move that is going to be shown through the water. I believe that there's going to be different lights that shine upon in the sky that form, and get out of the perception of seeing things in the 3D. You look at something and you go, well, it has to show a pure light. And then trying to sit back at that and see if you're seeing light after light, how it could be attached, and how those ships are kind of camouflaged and not in a like a mirror effect, the same way you would see dimensions. How for a minute you're looking at them, and then all of a sudden it changes, and you're going back and forth. Because when I see dimensions, there's either this darker color shimmering or this lighter color shimmering, and then seeing through those pure colors, those pure tones.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Some David, isolation equals isolation, ice wall and sky ice. That's interesting. Okay. Someone is asking about a financial type question. Will union pensions be affected when the monetary system changes?
But I think it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. It's hard for people to understand your pensions, a new system, a new world, a new way of things that are taken care of. What I'm hearing is $10,000 a month per person. I keep hearing that over in my head.
I heard that too. A couple of times.
If you got that and everything else is taken care of, I don't think you're worried about it. I don't think you're gonna. But what it is it's that old 3D concept of going into, I have to prepare, I have to make sure that things are okay. You have to understand, for humans to get out of that survival, you have to rebuild trust with them. They're going to stay in that and tap their foot going, oh, I don't believe it. Nope, I'm going to look. So they're going to observe for a while and see things implemented. And when they start to see a consistency of that building trust, and then you're like, they're going to hold their shoulders back a little more, and then you're going to see them release, because then they're like, okay, they're starting to trust. You have to build their trust again. Their confidence that you are taking care of nature, society, the elders, the children, everything. So it's literally building a new relationship of trust. So like I said, when someone's very defensive, they're like this. You know, you're going to see a lot of people like this for a while when they start in with old programs.
I don't believe it.
Right. I don't believe it. You know, I want to see it. So then once it starts to see a consistency, when you start to see people saying 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand, then you're going to start to see them relax a little. Well, this is staying consistent, you know, and everything that I need is being fulfilled. Then you're going to start to really see the trust going towards a proper direction, because that's what it has to do.
Well, can you imagine the amount of stress that is released from people?
I know, and that alone brings a frequency to Earth that is enlightened. At the same time, that energy is released. The worry is released. What that does to this world, how it changes that energy, how enlightened. Also, what a person can focus on, what they feel in a humanity way, what they can contribute. Because when humans feel that they have everything they need, they're going to start to give in a different way. They'll give their energy. They're going to give what they feel.
We got all these people out here saying, oh, if people get that kind of money, nobody's going to go to work.
And that's nothing to do with that. They don't understand the concept, the technology that's coming in, that's replacing all of that futuristic stuff. So then you have a pattern of everything is consistent. Then people like, okay, it's time to give my part. And it's not that's the whole thing. It's not a financial thing. It's what you feel inside that you can contribute. How that ability in you can contribute, whether it's children, whether it's animals, whether it's any futuristic type of engineering, whether it's devices. I mean, the whole thing is, that's what you're going to have to look at in a futuristic way, is that process. And the shepherd has been telling you, warning you, showing you, we're going towards that direction. And then when you start to see it implemented, because I think the technology is like a floodgate. Once the RV hits, then you're going to see massive technologies just change overnight. And it's going to be hard to keep up with it. And education is one of those things that he's mentioned too, that's going to change and reform. It has to.
Well, in the 6,000 different cures that they've talked about that have been held back because the American Medical Association were more concerned about making money than being in control of health than anyone else. There was no such thing as health freedom, and we need to have health freedom and informed consent and all that.
I'd say it this way: wait till the real devils you see in the field that was supposed to be there at your vulnerable state, and you find out they were doing the opposite. That's going to be shocking.
Yeah.
The devil wears Prada. Got that right.
Yeah. And how long we've been fooled about what they've been doing to actually keep us sick. And that's just in the health. I mean, every area is going to change big time.
Right. And that's why I think I said at the beginning of this, I think, like I said, the healers, those are, like I said, it's not the psychics or anything like that. It's the healers that you're going to see busy working, because people are going to want to go into their natural process of healing themselves and all that stuff. So I really believe that is going to be an important part. Mm-hmm. And there are people that they know they have some type of ability in that way, and they've kept dormant on it. And this is the time that you finally say, hey, I'm not going to deny this no more. I'm not going to deny that it's there and I feel this way. This is the time to step up and hold that podium and walk into that ability and lead people.
Yes, people really do need to step up and speak out, because if you don't, that means you're complicit with what's going on.
Right.
And that's not good. What's this one?
Exactly.
Clean food and clean water. Can you imagine how well humanity would function with really, truly clean and I'm going to say activated water, but real
Well, the thing
natural water. I
is
don't know how else to put it, but you know what I mean.
how
And-
animals and nature would be. I mean, they're the biggest one on this process. They're swimming and living in horrible water, and
Oh
they've
my God,
got
yeah.
far, and just the value of that is amazing.
Well, even the water that comes out of our faucets, basically dead water. It's which is a difficult concept to wrap your head around, but it's, if you can imagine, you know, water, spring water coming down, you know, the mountains or
Right.
whatever, and it just I don't know how else to put it except that it activates the water and it makes it more absorbable, and it just nourishes the body and hydrates it more readily.
Right. And that's the whole thing, and that's why the water that's across from the ice walls is good.
Oh,
When all that, you're seeing it melt as is, and as that comes in, and you know that's and I talk about
oh wow.
these blue stones from the firmament and how they'll come down and all that stuff, and how that is a how do you explain it, pure too. So that's going to be interesting how that unravels, and you're going to see how with pure water and how good water is, how the vegetables and all that stuff
To grow way big.
yes, and how it sucks and absorbs that instead of just having a hard time growing and developing, and seeing things more greener and not in a toxicity of sickness. So yeah,
I like that. Clean water, clean air, clean frequency.
right.
I heard that they were going to project, I don't know if this is for sure true, but I've heard it, and that they're going to project 432 frequency, which is basically it's nature's frequency, so it's very healing.
Right.
And
that's what I do with any those frequencies already. I teach them, and I mean, you can take a tuning fork and put it on every area of your body and figure out which frequency works with your own system. So, you know, I always tell people, I mean, like I said, I've been saying in my video on my YouTube channel that I was talking about, you don't need to get a lot of knowledge anymore, because what you're doing is you're listening to the inner voice. Like today when I was hearing this frequency, how do you know things are accumulating? It is the silence. It is the piece of silence that's coming, that's in your instinct, that's the inner voice that's telling you we're upon it. You know, and so they don't need to reach to some idolizing person. They need to reach to themselves and hear that inner voice now, and they know it now. They know it now because all they needed was to wake up to a certain capability now, and then accept the truth and develop in the truth. And that is just extremely the truth. You don't need anybody. We're at a process. You don't need anybody to tell you where we're at, because you know it. You feel it. We're on the verge. There's no cliff to go over anymore. There's this silence that's there, and this frequency that's coming in, and it's telling you. And that's what's connected to Creator, is that inner voice. And that is something, the one thing that the negative has been fighting, because it doesn't have that. That inner voice of Creator is connected in nature, in sound, in frequency, in the atmosphere, all at once at the same time. And that is what's going to bring you to that depth of the knowing. it's not somebody pushing magazines or sweatshirts in front of you. That's not going to give you the knowledge, you know. It's going to be that inner voice that you're like, I'm listening to it. I don't, you know, and that's the whole thing now. Buying stuff in a natural pathway, the best thing you can do. Find the natural way to heal your body, that's the best thing you can do. But this whole big consumer process of filling the soul in buying cars, buying houses, buying clothes that you don't need. All it's done is fulfilled that to a certain small capacity to occupy the mind. And now the mind and people are like, done. None of that crap is going to hold me back anymore. That's not going to appease me. Now I'm looking for frequency, sound, balance, and path. Because they know inside that trueness lies with Creator. And now they're listening. In the silence, they're listening. And they're awakened to it in the center of them.
That's so true. And you know, they try to keep us in fear, which has a frequency of about 100. And then guilt and shame is about as low as you could go. But then it's actually peace is 600. Joy is 540 and love is 500. So those frequencies are substantially higher in what they try to keep us in all the time with fear and so on and so forth. But peace is way up there. It's just before enlightenment.
Right.
So peace is so important.
It is. It is. And I know that for a fact because I walked away from it. And this is just because, you know, 29 years of marriage because I chose peace instead of chaos. I chose the peace and the balance over the chaos because that's the most important thing to my soul.
Boy, can I relate to that. Peace.
Yes.
Instead of fighting and arguing all the time or something on that nature. Oof. Yeah. Well, Alan says that the water will cause people to, oh, wait, I didn't finish this one. Let me go back. The peace of silence is frequency of the eternal, just like you said. It's our direct connection, one with it. Yeah, and that's Michelle Marie, who I will be having a show with tomorrow. And we talk about similar things. And she loves you too, Jenny.
Thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, I think, I really believe when we get to this energy that everybody is seeking, the soul is, you know, we're all out here with that energy, feeling it now. But when we come in together and it's united and it's, you know, I always look at it as a gold particles that are connected with it because I think it's an upgrade. And when that just consistently moves in frequency and moves, all the thoughts are united as one. And that is the thing that I think they fear because now it's united.
Oh, yeah. And that's powerful.
Once they get a taste of it, once they know that this is the most enriched frequency of their life, they ain't going to want nothing else. Nothing else. Right. But they can't be bought. They can't be sold. No item, no cars, no planes. It's just not going to feed it. That inner peace, that frequency of that enlightenment, of that goodness will be the new thing that you desire.
The peace and joy are the two highest frequency next to enlightenment. So can you imagine that level of when you have the peace and the joy just bubbles out?
Right. So when I focus on Yeshua, I'm going to tell you, I see him as this healer. I see them as this total balance energy. I feel it's the total balance across the board. I feel this giver. You know what I'm saying? And there's that frequency with him. It stays, He's not a conflict. It's just all balance. It's all healing. It's all understanding every little thing of nature. And then the creator's energy is just universal. That's connected in every light spark and everything. And so this is what I would tell you. The evil went after creator in the way because they hated him so much, took everything that he loved, because they had something. He has something they can never have.
And they hate him for it.
The oneness.
Yeah.
At the very moment, at the very second, and the very light that they cannot become.
Okay. Let's see. Kevin is saying all life on Earth is composed of 4 base pair DNA. Only genetic sequences separate a human from a tree, from a squirrel, from a horse. Isn't that fascinating? That's how we're all connected. I mean, we really are connected in so many ways, whether it's, but anyway.
Right. When you okay, so example of a tree, when you get close to, I can't buy, I'm very hard on buying anything new because it has no energy with me. So if it's had no energy, it just feels uncomfortable to me. So I always have to buy antiques or something old that has energy with it. So when
Character, yeah.
So when I feel around trees, there's this wholesome, there's this history, there's this frequency that already knows itself, and there's that awning frequency, and you move with that, and you feel that rhythm, and you feel love in that way. So so my symbol for a creator is a tree, because a tree is connected to everything, universal. It is connected to the seeds, it is connected to the roots, it is connected to the soil, it is connected to the water. It blossoms in the sun. This natural sunlight comes on through all of it.
And the roots help each other. True,
Yeah,
like
that's what's on the cover of my book. And people didn't know that. Here, I'll show you. That the tree is creator. The tree is the natural sunlight that comes through. This is Yeshua sitting on the bench, and the light hits him, and it goes through, and it hits me, and it stops right there. So it's that the tree. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's fascinating,
Right.
And interesting. Very good.
Right.
Okay, let's see. We are nature. That's when somebody says we are nature. Yeah, more and more I love getting out in nature. Now it's more difficult for me to do because I am carless at the present time. And I'm not quite close enough to my hiking trails I used to go to all the time. I'm not happy about that. But anyway, we are nature. Yeah, Lotus. Okay. I'm just putting the people. Okay. Let's see. This conversation totally resonates with the topic. We are soul sparks united in golden dream. Yeah. Michelle and I will be doing that tomorrow. So
Well, that's good. That's nice.
Cool. Lenore says, I love nature or out playing golf, but feed sandhill cranes and animals all along the way. It gives me significant peace. And nature, you can't beat the peace in nature because it just,
Right.
it's just peaceful.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what, I think our minds, and we crave that peace and silence because we live such busy lives for survival. And that is what's,
Right.
that's killing everybody,
It
really,
is.
in terms of longevity and so on. The stress is just.
Yeah, it is.
Ridiculous.
And then when we don't live in that, we are not in that mechanism, we can advance and we can change and we can evolve. The thing is, a man has to look at what they've done to nature. The cruelty that's been upon
and to
us
animals,
naked. That's what I'm saying. The whole I really get irritated of everything being isolated and contained into a zoo process. That just irritates me more than anything, because those animals were meant to be free. They were not meant for your entertainment. And they need to go back to their natural habitats and have their space and feel that sun on their face and be in a happy place too. And I hope society in the new futuristic way gets to a point of balance with animals, and not being the cruelness in that process of looking at that man is superior over the animals. And if you could look at it in a balanced way, you would understand that it can walk beside each other in such a humble balance.
Well, what would people do if all of a sudden animals were able to talk to
I
them?
know it would be great.
It would be awesome. And that is potentially could happen, because they say that it's happened in the past.
Right.
You know, maybe thousands ago, but it maybe it's because of the way humanity started treating animals. Who knows?
Right.
But animals are our
It's,
friends.
yeah, and it's and that's why a lot of us healers, when a lot of people feel more pain when you're focusing or looking at animals than you do any human. I'm telling you, I can't stand the pain and the suffering of an animal. It's a different frequency that goes into the drive of your soul. And it's excruciating, and to the point that you'll put yourself through pain and suffering so they don't suffer. It's just a different understanding that it's so hard to see it.
Yeah, and we have come to be rather, I've seen people be very cold blooded. Well, it's just an animal, like it's just an animal. No,
That's your
it's a
test.
sentient
That's
being.
your test on this plane, when you're set in the path of something that needs your help, whether you shoo it on the side and you ignore it, or you actually reach out in what you're capable of doing to help it and find its way.
Oh, wow. Someone says here, real truth, Liz. One of my most profound experiences was a 1-hour conversation with my God tree. He showed me visions and we spoke telepathically. It was really special. Oh, what a gift.
It is.
So, it's funny. My dog is, she's an emotional support dog. And when I left the other day, somebody said, "Oh, your dog doesn't like you." I'm her emotional support human.
Right.
So that love goes both ways. And
Right.
They have shown in healthcare situations how much an animal can mean and how much it can change someone who's very ill or very sick or whatever. It can make all.
Yeah, their breathing patterns, their energy frequency, and how even like cats that lay on top of you, and how that calmness comes in, and how
That frequency, their purr is healing, man.
Right, it is, in all that way, and that's the whole thing. Is not only that, I was a young girl, and I adapted to animals like no other. That was the thing I needed to be around. That was the one thing that I needed to feel balanced around, and that's still to this day. So yeah,
I can relate. Believe me, I can relate. I think natural beauty, and that's the piece of nature, and it's beautiful, and it just, you just kind of feel like in awe. I mean, I've had those moments out in hiking trails. It's just really awesome.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah. So I think So all we right now need to be, we're at the edge of the cliff, listening to the sound and waiting for the go. And it's not the go from this plane, it's the go from creation. And say, we're here and we're ready. So that's what I feel we're all waiting for.
Yes. Wow.
So yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you know what? I have just seen, okay, she was just talking about yesterday, a dog was left behind where I work. When I found her by my car, she looked into my eyes and asked for help. I have seen a bunch of videos out there where animals that you wouldn't expect to be friendly,
Right.
coming and asking for help from a human.
Right. It's amazing.
It is. And you're seeing more and more of it. It's like the animals are really are helping to lead the way in the friendliness, lovingness, whatever you want to call it. It's a bonding, and we're all connected.
Right.
We're connected to the animals too. And as you start to feel that connection, that's a good thing.
Right. Exactly. So we'll take a few more questions because I have some appointments I got to do.
See if yeah, we're getting that coming up on an hour and a half. I don't like to go longer than that anyway. So I'm looking for, does anybody have any last questions before we call it a wrap?
So yeah, I'm still, and I'm also still booking, I'm still booking readings and booking healings and booking. So
yeah, why don't you tell them what your site is?
And now I finally opened the floodgates for more cases because I got to a certain point. So now I'm opening the appointments for more missing persons cases and stuff, more remote viewing. So it finally got to a certain balance with that I'm caught up. So
oh, cool. That's always a good thing.
Right.
Did you came out with your second book too, didn't you?
No, I only have just this one. I have not. Everybody,
okay,
because I haven't had time. That's the problem.
Oh,
I have, and that's the thing. I haven't had time to get into it, and then it's
very time consuming. I believe me, I know. And life seems to be busier than usual, doesn't it? For some reason.
It does. And then I think with people now, and I'm getting emails, a lot of emails where people, they're not awakened around their family. They're not saying they're awakened, but I'm getting a lot of emails where people are setting up sessions to understand this, to understand how they feel, what they're going through. And I mean, as in their awakening process and their energy and opening up to that. So it seems like I'm getting a lot of appointments with that because people are like, okay, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it to understand this. I'm ready for it to understand how I need to work with it on my own. Because that's what they want. They want to be able to handle it on their own, understand it on their own, and get the signs on their own. So I see that growing more and more. And so the clarity of wanting to get the answers is
okay. I know this question has been answered before in other shows, but I just put it up at the stats, and then there's one other question, and then we'll call it a night. Does blood type have any significance?
No, and they've told me that, and it's because when they show me this type of DNA, it's a spiritual frequency within your system, and it's gold particle. They're like blood, bone, and flesh is not your true being. That is a human condition. And as we ascend through this process, that is not the priority. It is the path. It is the spiritual path. It is the spiritual energy that evolves. And so that gold particle that they show, what you would call DNA, goes with you. And that's what's important.
Okay. Now, this is the other question. What does December look like?
I just don't want to do Christmas. When I'm kind of at that point that I don't have to now because you know that's a consumer process. So I think, I think there's going to be a relief. I think everybody is going to be at that point of holding their breath finally and going, oh, God. You know, we're at a stage that they're happy at. They're at a stage of breathing.
More hopeful.
Yes, and seeing it, and you know, and watching the new world evolve in the process, and humanity, taking care of humanity.
There we go. Yeah. Amazing what people will do when our frequency is lifted and all the stress is taken off of us.
Exactly. So, and then I do have, you know, there's the Telegram. And then my Patreon is where all the predictions are that I work on, the downloads and the information you saw. So the Patreon is where they can store all that and look at that. So,
okay, so you have a Telegram channel
and
you have a Patreon channel, or
Telegram, Patreon, YouTube.
Okay.
So,
and Jenny's site is
www.jennyssight.net. It's in the group. I've put it in the chat several times. So.
Oh, good. Okay, and I usually get it in the description.
Yeah.
And if it's not there, I can only add it. I had a crazy day today, so I had to throw things together rather quickly. I did 2 shows today. So I guess that's pretty much a wrap. We can call that a show. And thank you so much for your time and energy, Jenny. It's always a pleasure.
You're welcome. So everybody stay in the light.
And thank you, everyone. Stay in the light. Shine your light.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Let me find our thing here.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now, don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show